We live in a society that people become like sheep and goats, you know, real stupid people, you know, the TikTok system, you know, flip, 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 no information, just a little bit of pleasure, no information. You know, the story is pretty simple. He called me, we had a great conversation, and this is where people get lost. A lot of people in society today, they can't pull the trigger because they get used to or accustomed to very low things to get satisfaction rather than having the real deal. Let me explain to you why in two different shapes. On the example of this gentleman, he's a very nice guy, by the way. I met him in person. I actually have videos and pictures of him. There's a video on my YouTube channel where I delivered the puppy to a very nice hotel in Los Angeles. He came with his daughter, beautiful little girl. She's about 9 years old at the time, and this might have been about 3 years ago, maybe. And I'll tell you quickly story. The guy contacts me first. We have a good conversation to the point that I remember him, and I get these good feelings. Because a lot of times I go to a guy that, this guy, man, he sounds sleazy, he sounds cheesy, he sounds fake. Or maybe a guy that I try to educate, and, you know, he'll never understand. You know, he don't have the IQ. Or maybe I get to a guy that maybe he really understands, but his life, he already got children, he got a wife, and his life is really busy. He cannot afford the dog. He really cannot afford quality. And I always tell people, if you cannot afford a great dog, just better not have a dog, not even a cat. Just focus on your family, give everything you can to them. But obviously having a great dog is a really great thing for the children. And it's a great reward for the husband when he comes from work and he enjoys the dog. And it's a good thing for the wife, protection and so on and so forth. But he cannot afford it. And this man calls me. He's about 23, maybe 29 years old. He said, you know, want to get a dog from you? We talk, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, I see your videos, blah, blah, blah. I said, great. And I said, he'll call back later, maybe want to put a deposit. He never called me back. Life goes on. I get busy with other things, other clients, blah, blah, blah. His puppy that's supposed to go for him got sold out to somebody else. And I really, at the time, I wasn't like calling back anybody and, you know, following up or nothing. It's like, you know, whether you want it or not, you know, that's it. And one day he calls me, like 6 months later. Do you remember me? You probably don't remember me. And I said, you know what? I do remember you. We talked for a little bit, right? Yeah. Oh, man, Chico, you know, I learned so much from you, blah, blah, blah. And I was going to get a bully or a mutt. But I couldn't afford one of your dogs. I shop around. I found this guy in Houston that he says that he got the same bloodline, and the dog, you know, is Macho Buck. The first copycat of Awesome Buck was Macho Buck. You know, Awesome Buck produced the Dogs of the Years, the Grand Champion, Global Grand Champion. Macho Buck didn't produce nothing. And Awesome Buck was the gangster private dog. And so nobody has the bloodline. And Macho Buck was the puppy peddler's dog. They shared that stuff like it was a prostitute, you know. And so it became real cheap. And plus the dog really, like, it was a cheap imitation. He never produced or anything like Awesome Buck. But the guy thought that having a red nose puppy was the same. So he got the dog from him. And so I said, what you call me? He said, oh man, the guy made me a promise I was going to get a pick of the litter and blah, 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 blah. I said, okay. So why you call me? He said, no, I just wanted to tell you thank you. I found it to be a little bit like this guy's fucking playing games with me, you know, pulling my strings, you know. And I said, bro, why you call me? I mean, enjoy the dog, dude, really, but you don't need to call me. I mean, you go to the copycat guy, you know, the knockoff, and you call me. Oh, no, don't take it that way. Just wanted, I'm grateful. I said, this guy don't have a brain, you know. But anyhow, I'm going to wish you good luck, man. Treat the dog with respect. Take care, bye-bye. Hang up the phone and say, man, go fuck yourself. And happens that another 7-8 months later, the guy calls me again. But we had a goodbye, you know, but I wasn't happy with him. He calls me. And he said, Chico, what's up? I said, hey, oh. I said, man, I did this guy again to bother me maybe, you know. And he's like, Chico, just want to tell you, man, my dog got stolen. And I said, okay, so what you want me to do? He said, no, I just want to tell you my dog got stolen, and I'm very happy. I said, what do you mean? What are you talking about? I'm trying to figure this guy out. He's like, they stole my dog. And it was hard for me to explain to my daughter that the dog got stolen. And so what happens is, I had this dog that was shy. As he grew, he turned out to be ugly looking dog. And he was a puppy, he was cute. But as he grew, this dog became shy, and he was kind of like, try to bite you and stuff like that. Just this disgusting experience. Then I see our clients bragging about dogs that are a year old, 2 years old, And I said, okay, so now I don't have a dog, Chico. I said, what do you mean? So what you want me to do? He said, I want to buy a dog from you. You got a dog from that guy because you told me it was cheap. I don't have that. I don't do that. I said, my dog is going to cost you more now, brother. The price went up. He said, what do you mean? I said, bro, the price went up. And he was a good guy. He's a good guy. He's a nice guy. He just didn't understand life that well at the time. And he learned a very valuable lesson. And he was like, I understand. I'm willing to pay the extra price. And I flew to Los Angeles. I wanted him to have a great experience, so I got a really good hotel. He comes with his daughter. Great guy, great father. I like him. He got the puppy. He sent me pictures and calls me, message me most of the time. Pictures of the dog and how the dog is doing, how satisfied he's with the dog. And I was thinking about him the other day, and I thought, this guy got blessed by having a dog from me. But somehow a bad experience got fixed by another bad experience. He had a terrible dog from a puppy peddler, Fast and the Furious scumbag from Houston. And he ended up having someone stealing his dog. Someone stole his dog. He don't know what happened when somebody stole his dog. And that was the best thing that can happen to him. How about that guy that buy the cheap dog, buy the stupid dog in the swamp because he wants to learn more? He goes in the swamp and they don't get, I don't give these bouquets full of flowers and pink unicorns hanging around with the thugs. I don't have that. I'm a real man, straightforward, short to the point. And the guy end up keeping the dog and living on this BS life of swamp, pretending to be some sort of like, he's looking for a reason to become a dogman. And, let me roll my dog in 2023. Let me get in problems with the law. Let me meet this low life. Maybe idolize some criminal scumbag, and the guys get lost. Never had the real experience. That is a problem. Sometimes if life loved them, she'll have someone steal their dog and get a good dog. On the other hand, I had people that tricked me, and I guess because they hang around with idiots, somebody stole their dog. You see what I'm saying? The people they hang around with end up stealing their dog. So life is like that. But I can tell you about you. You're getting a lot of kind of like mixing with Chico Lopez and having like the special attention on this call and the pro video. You need to make sure that you become a rocket that takes off and makes your mission. Let me explain to you. When you have a rocket that's standing on the launching pad, there's an echo there. There's an echo going on. Coming out of your phone, microphone or whatever. I don't know what you're doing, recording.
Okay, I'm listening. Sorry about that.
So there's a rocket that is standing on the launching pad. Launching pad is where the rocket's standing and it's going to take off, go to the moon, go to Mars, whatever. The rocket has an expiration date. It's like a cake. It has an expiration date. If you eat it within the next 7-8 hours, it tastes is amazing. If you eat it within the next 24 hours, the taste is a little less. But the second day, it becomes garbage. And since this culture of people, sometimes they switch their satisfaction from having a dog and having the experience of becoming a great dog owner into just being a fan. I know those guys. Those guys, I make a post within seconds, I get love, like it, king, blah, 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 a whole bunch of things. And I wish that those guys will become customers. But
yeah,
they fell in love with being loyal to me in terms of liking all my posts, which is perfect. But they cheating themselves on the experience of having a great dog and living the great experience. There's a family in Queens, New York. It's called the Givens. And Carlo Givens, for his birthday, his wife and daughters and son bought him called me and convinced me to sell him a puppy. It was for his birthday. He's a great guy. He's a family guy. He's not a rich guy. He's not like a famous guy. He's just a solid family hero. You know, his priority was his children, his wife, and he lives in Queens, and he has a nice dog, mixed breed, you know, but he wanted to have one of my dogs, and the daughter told me, said, listen, Chico's biggest fan. Every night he go to sleep watching your videos on YouTube, and I was like, I want to meet this man. I want to deliver the puppy. If I agree to sell your dog, I must deliver it. And I didn't know that the day that I was delivering for, the night before his birthday, was the first night that had a biggest storm in New York. I mean, hail dropped down in snow. And I had to navigate in Miami through a lot of things to be able to make it into Miami. I mean, into New York. And I got made it to New Jersey. A taxi driver was almost crashing until we made it to Brooklyn. The next day in the morning, I made it to their home, and these are his words, and I quote him: "The best birthday I ever got in my life." Hey, they just celebrated the 3rd year birthday of Ernie. They love these dogs so much. They make some mistakes along the way. Most people that make mistakes with dogs, sometimes the dogs die or things happens, is because they do things that I never do. They're never done. I got a guy that I told him, don't ever have your dog without the leash. And he decided to listen to the stupid multiple breed dog trainer that told him, I'm going to train your dog so you can run with him loose next to you. That's not how it works with pit bulls or game dogs. And this guy ended up having this dog, you know, he got run over by a car and the dog died. But accidents always happen, well, not always, but if there's accidents or things that happen, that is because most of the times owners are doing things that I don't do. But Ernie is 3 years old, and thank God he's alive. He's beautiful as one can be. They get tons and tons of attention. He's the best purchase they ever made, because his love for the wife, his love for the father, he's so proud of this dog. I mean, this dog stands in front of the door. They open the door. They got like a fence in the front of the house, but right by the door frame. And he's there 1-2 hours before the father comes, just waiting for him to show up around the corner. That's like he was waiting, like, you know, paint getting dry on the wall, just waiting. And the moment he comes around, he's so happy. So it doesn't matter if he had a bad day. It doesn't matter. Whatever happened, it's always going to be a celebration by Ernie. And he said, this is my boy. He laid down on his leather sofa, beautiful leather sofa. They're just amazing family. I really love the Givens. And they got a video where he's riding in the car with his wife, and they put a nice music to it. Got about 1.5 million. At the time I looked at it, people just love it. And you're looking at that experience, and that's my significance. That right there, my significance. And my customers is just like this. That's what I'm looking for, you know. And I'm looking for winners in life. People that are not breeders. People that are going to treat these dogs with the most respect. That are going to love them. They're going to appreciate them. They're going to respect them. And their experience will be that they wish they can buy a house. And their house experience overall is as good as one of my dogs. These are the dogs.
Like you said last time when you were speaking to me before, and you talked about when you were 20 years old, what you were looking for. You were looking for an avatar, and you put the dog in the same conversation as though you were speaking of like having your own avatar as like a video game, like when you have your own avatar. And that really changed my perspective of the dog. At one point I was thinking having a dog, and I mean, I always kind of thought of having a dog as far as a family member or someone to be a part of the family.
Nah.
But like when you said avatar, it almost gave me or it gives me the perspective of like having a son.
It's
And
deep, brother. Listen to me, man. George, is deep. When you walk one of these dogs, you feel it through the leash. You feel the energy of I'm absolutely fearless. It doesn't matter if I don't know as much as you know, I will learn. It doesn't matter how strong you are, I will outdo you. It doesn't matter how much you want to win, I will win. I will not prevail, I will dominate. I used to work in Gallery Furniture, Houston, Texas. If you look at Mattress Mac, G. Mac and Bell, you look at, just put G. Mac and Bell, Mattress Mac, big bet. You'll find this man bet $75 million, or he earned $75 million. Biggest bet in sports. He owns a gallery, a furniture store. I love this guy. I was his best employee, best salesman, best everything. As a matter of fact, this guy, I think by now he's close to about $700 million plus. He's super great person, super the hottest working man I ever met working in a regular company. You show up at 5 in the morning, he's there 7 days a week. Insane. And he helps the community. Now he got 3 stores. I remember I walked through the store maybe about 3 years ago, and it was a long time I haven't seen him. And the moment I walked right through the store, I thought nobody was going to recognize me. And I walked through the store, and some guy looks at me and ran to him and said, Chico is, Franco, they call me Franco, is coming. And he goes out there and he said from the store, he's standing right in front of the store. He said, guys, that's the best, greatest salesman we ever had, Franco. And everybody started clapping. It made me feel like, oh my goodness. Because having respect from that man, the day I left the place, he was so upset, so angry, threw the phone. I thought we were never going to talk again. But I had so much respect. I owe so much to this man. I came to New York, from New York to Texas at the time with $400, 54 dogs in the back of a Penske truck, a huge divorce. And the only thing between me and becoming insane was my dogs. My dogs were the things that kept me together. And so the connection is on another level. And so if you go to his Instagram account, Mattress Mac Official, I think he's called, you look at him, you'll find him there. And you see my account, he follows me. I don't think he follows many employees. He might follow about 300 people, but he's a brand in Houston, Texas. He follows me, he knows who I am. And he remembers me like a warrior. When I got to the place, the first 2 weeks I got there was a guy from Italian guy from New York, kind of gangster type of guy, fat guy. And they all got together in the parking lot and they say, listen, man, you're not going to come here running circles. You're coming from New York and thinking you're going to outdo all of us in sales and make us look back in front of the boss. And in front of the boss, the guy in charge, the chief. And I said, I don't give a shit. I'm going to sell all of you motherfuckers. I'm hungry. And so I came and I became the #1 salesman. I changed the sales style. I created the groups. I created the mentoring, the leadership. I uplifted so many people. The stories are incredible. All the workers that came there and they were going to fire them, and I uplifted them. A lot of brothers, a lot of Latinos, Mexicans, Peruans, Ecuadorians. I helped them so much. Mexicans, Boricuas, I remember some Puerto Ricans too. I helped them a lot. Hondurans as well. I helped them. And a lot of brothers. I helped them so much. And I was the guy. I was the bad guy. Don't fuck with him. But I was the nice guy. If you were good, I was going to help you and uplift you. So I was in an environment of that. One of my guys, when he left, he said, I learned so much from you, Franco. He says, but working here with the boss, which is Mac, is like working inside a barrel full of gunpowder, And so he left. He became very successful in his own business later. But I stood there for years. And one of the things that will always keep me sharp, it was me walking my dog, Awesome Buck. Walking all these dogs and dreaming one day to create the golden vein. I will dream walking with this dog. I said, I will make sure that your genes will multiply, and great people one day will have your children, your great grandchildren as pets. And that's what I'm living right now. So you can say I'm a guy that I'm living my dream. I'm having people that I don't know, that I never met, and a lot of them are celebrities, Marcus Pierce from ESPN, the guy that talks about football. He played for the Cowboys. He owns one of my dogs. A lot of top of the line guys own my dogs.
And regular people like us. Not you, but like me and other people.
Yeah, and just good guys that are on the way up. I think guys that are on the way up, we talk about this avatar deal. And yesterday night, I got a call from a gentleman his name is Mark. He's getting a beautiful puppy that I just made a video with the white markings. And he called me out of nowhere. And he said, I've been following you since I'm a teenager. Just like you. You're 21, right? You follow me since you're a teenager. He said, I've been following you since you're a teenager. And I click with you guys so much. It's unbelievable. And the reason why I click with you guys.
Hello?
Yeah, give me a second.
Okay.
And the reason why I click with you guys so much is because I wanted to be you. I have walked a victorious yet painful road to be able to give you guys the opportunity. I have traveled the world. I went to places that I never thought I would be. I put my hands on fire. I run risk that I never thought I was going to run to fulfill the promise to us on Buck and to Cheyenne. And I tell you this, all I wanted to have was a Chico Lopez, solid man, solid dude with great core that will build this amazing dog. And I can say I want to have one of your dogs for him to be my avatar. And that's why I click so much. Because I see myself in you guys. I see you guys going to do the things that I didn't do, that I don't regret. I didn't do them because I prefer what I did. But I didn't do those things. I was listening to a guy. I didn't spend enough time with my children, working the dogs and working my jobs. And you guys have this opportunity to fulfill your life, your dreams. Get married when you're 35 or even 40 and you already build your empire, and do it inspired by that avatar. You see what I'm saying? When I look at Carlo, I look at a man that has a, wow. His wife, Libby, she's just phenomenal. Just a perfect wife. But, he has 2 children that are amazing. He's blessed. Not everybody has it like that. He comes from the islands. I think he comes from maybe the Virgin Islands. And hello to you guys. I'm pretty sure they're listening to this now, so I love you guys. But young guys, that you guys could go and become rock stars in life. That you can go out there and you can travel the world just like I did. I will travel the world a few more times, by the way, just so you guys know. But I want you to guys, my significance, it became your happiness. You see what I'm saying? So I want you guys to do not miss this opportunity. I want you guys to go to college. I want you to, going to college really is not really what I like for you guys. Going to college is not really what I like for you guys. But what I want you to have is, I want you to become entrepreneurs better than going to college. But if you cannot be an entrepreneur and be a doctor and engineer, but become rich. I want you to become rich in other things. But I want my dog to help you achieve that position. And so I was talking to you about this guy called Mark. And yesterday I was talking with you, making the first part of this video. And in the night I get a call. And who calls me, Mark? He says, I'm your fan. I've been following you since ever. And this guy, he says, for 10 years, 10 or 5 years, I'm sorry, maybe not 10 years, but about 5 years, he's been wanting to call me to buy a dog for me. And he's like, he finally found that moment, and he was there. And I told him, don't hang up and go without your dog. He says, you're right. And so we closed the deal. He sent a deposit. He's getting his puppy. And then when we talk about the puppy, he says, I want to name him Ipo. So what do you mean? He says, IPPO. IPPO. And he says, what is that? He said, you never seen the Chico? I said, no, I never seen it. And I didn't see it because I was a kid that started working when I got my first job when I was 13 years old. So I didn't have this childhood that people have in America, right? So, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about the name of this character. And it's a Chinese character. And it's a kid, an underdog, that goes into boxing and becomes a champion. So his name is it's called Ipo Makunochi. Ipo Makunochi. Some people that listen to this video are going to Google it. And so he says that there's a movie, by the way, about this. I'm just Googling it while I got you in the phone. And he said, that's an avatar. He said, that's me, the underdog that's going to make it. And I told you the word underdog came from American Pit Bull Terriers, where they were engaging in combat back in the 1800s. And the word top dog also comes from there. And then all those links with Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez, Chris Cyborg, Hoist Gracie, underdogs that became top dogs. I want all these top dogs, all you guys, to have your avatar. One of these dogs from Chico Lopez, one of these relatives of Awesome Buck, one of these relatives of the Backman, Sugar the Great, Mechanic Buck, Atos. But don't become the rocket on the launching pad that never takes off. Don't become the birthday cake that become too old and after some time they gotta throw you away. Don't become like the TikToker. You like all my videos, you like all my shit, but you never pull the trigger. Pull the goddamn trigger, get the dog, enjoy it, take care of the dog, give it a lot of love, stay away from the swamp, stay away from breeding. Do not breed the dogs. People that breed the dogs, every single mutt that you see out there came from some pet owner that decided to breed their dog. There's no such a thing as being a dogman just by being on YouTube, on Instagram, and all that stuff, respect the history of the breed. Respect the past. Respect the men, the elite men behind me. Not all the guys that own dogs. Some people think that everybody that owns a dog was meaningful. No. Most people are meaningless. It's just like a bloodline. A bloodline with 100, 200,000 dogs in it by relationship. Or these dogs are related to particular dog. In this case, let's say Mayday. You're going to have the 3 or 4 or 5 dogs where maybe 20 were good and maybe 2 or 3 were great and the rest are just mediocrity. Walk away from mediocrity. Become excellent, become superb, become the best, because with American Pit Bull Terriers, with the real deal, there's nothing else but the best. Is the best or nothing. You put yourself at the very sharp edge of the apex, the top of the rotor, the top of the mountain, and stay there at the apex. It's a very difficult thing to stay at the top. So it's the journey to success a lot of times is the most beautiful part. It's like when you're skiing, winning the race on a ski, going down the snowy mountain is the best part. When you cross the finish line and you already won, the trophy is nice, blah, blah, blah. But remembering that particular journey is the best part. Every second, every turn, and make sure that when you're taking the ski that journey, you do it one of my dogs. Do it
Yeah.
because they the best and because you deserve the best. That's all I'm going to tell you, George. You need to find a way to find yourself, love yourself, do the very best for you. At the end of the day, no one will love you more. No one will be more loyal to you. Believe it or not, less than 1% of mothers can love you the way one of my dogs can love you. They are absolutely the best.
Personally, I would like to give thanks to God for giving me this opportunity that not many others will get or possibly have gotten, to talk to you. And I'm not just trying to be a fan, but to talk to you and grow more of a passion for the dog. I remember a video that you had, and you may not even remember this. It was 2 years ago, and you were speaking on gameness. So I did hear someone before speak on gameness, and you talked about different levels of gameness, and you brought up something that really stuck to me. And you brought up game bred Masvidal, or you said he calls himself Masvidal, but his name is really Masvidal. And you brought up David Goggins. And you brought up when Masvidal had lost to Kamaru Usman. And when he had lost, he was on video and his kids were at home and he was speaking to his kids. And he said something where it was just like, wow, like he just got a little bump and he's moving on. And David Goggins, you didn't speak much on him in the particular video, but later on, I had to look him up because it has stuck with me. And I just looked him up and got to hear more about what he was going through in his life, and it motivated me. So for me, I'm definitely grateful to God for giving me this opportunity to meet you and having the journey of getting the dog. Like, I feel like if I just paid the money, just got the money and got the dog, I would have never got to have this experience, this learning experience, growing, learning what gameness is on multiple different levels, having this journey of learning, and growing a passion more and more for the dog. I do know that we live in the information era where people are just getting information, and once they get their dopamine shot off of information, they're done and they move on. But for me, it's been an amazing experience just learning more and more and more and more and more. And once God opens up the opportunity for me to get the dog, I just feel like it's going to mean so much more to me than it would mean to the average person who just has a bunch of money and can just buy the dog, because I've gotten to have the experience of learning about gameness, learning about the journey, learning about the dog, learning about the history of the dog, learning more and more and more. And I think that's what is so much more important to me than it is for someone else who just, the American Pit Bull Terrier. Like, no, like for me, I'm getting to learn more and more about the dog, more about the history, more about like things that matter to you and don't matter to you. Like a lot of people have breeding, like how you were against it, how the care that you have for the pit bull. So I'm extremely grateful for the journey. And when I do get the dog, it is to me, getting the dog is like Terrence Crawford winning Undisputed against Errol Spence. For me, actually getting the dog, for me, is like, whoa, that's the championship right there in this particular experience, because not many people will be able to have this experience.
I agree with you, man.
Grateful for the experience, for sure.
I agree with you. For me, being able to provide such a great experience for people, it is extremely important. And like I said, I get criticized sometimes some knucklehead, some idiot. They don't understand life. They don't understand concepts of anything, and that their IQ may be very low, or their culture is very low quality, and so they say, man, why you selling to these stupid pet owners? These guys like regular people that love their dogs, and it's like they think they deserve. They got the money to buy them. I should be able to sell them the dogs. They treat the dogs like garbage. I don't want that for my dogs. I don't want my dogs to be treated like that. But for me, I'm happy that you're happy, and I want to tell you thank you because you're a young person and you're passionate as well. And we need to keep the American Pit Bull Terrier alive, and that doesn't mean we're going to keep all these other dogs alive. It just means we're going to keep the Golden Vein alive. And whenever you're ready, whenever you want to create a process for yourself, that'll be between you and yourself. And you give me a call. We'll talk a little bit about it, some of the process, prices, what I have available. But I want to welcome everybody that's watching this video to learn more on this channel, and be careful out there because there's a lot of people that talk things they don't know. They repeat a lot of stuff. You're going to see the content on these channels and all my social media is very unique content, and we're different. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for the call. I'm very happy that I got to reminisce a little bit about my hard days. People don't know, when I got to Texas, I had this property. It was about a quarter of an acre, and I had these very short chains, and I had all my dogs in chains at the time. They were all loved. These dogs were all happy. They were fat, well taken care of. It was hard for me. It was hard for them too. It was harder for me than for them. I used to sleep on the guy brought me a mattress box. I don't know if you know what a mattress box is, but it's the part that goes underneath the mattress to sleep. The floor was better than that. And I had one pot where I used to cook my coffee, and I used to wait for it to cool off. No refrigerator, nothing. So I used to buy fruits and vegetables, and I can eat them raw. And that's how I lived for some time. I had to feed my dogs, and I worked, and I was happy. And I would walk these dogs. I remember my dog Joker. I would walk these dogs in the nighttime, looking at the stars, the skylight, like around 2 a.m. There's nothing out there in the middle of Texas, middle of nowhere. And it was Tomball, Texas. And I was so happy that I was there to be able to do this and work hard and make things happen. Send my child support for my children. And I put a lot of stuff for these dogs. Wow, Jesus, how many trips, so many places, so many adventures. We really saved the best of we took the American Pit Bull Terriers to a place they've never been in terms of quality and consistency. And then we're saving that for the best American Pit Bull. So my man, I'm gonna cut up the video, and I've got other things to do. We've been here for about 49 minutes, going to 40 minutes now. I thank you so much again, George, for your time. I really appreciate it. And I can feel your passion about the channel. Share with your best friends. And hopefully one of these days you'll call me and say, I'm ready to get my puppy. And we'll be friends for a very long time.
Well, thank you for having me. And thank you for sharing this experience with me.
Yep. Thank you so much, my man. God bless you. Have a good one, George.